Towards your left shoulder, just the opposite.
Left.
Just there, that's perfect. Let's vacuum this out for you if you can. It is a big lump. Got a bit of hair in the way, but I'll work around that.
I can't take it, some guy's got something stuck in there.
Look at that. That's what we got from your ear. Let's see if there's anything more hiding and lurking inside your ear. Yeah, you still got some more.
I can hear that better.
That's a good sign. So if I come in and out of your ear, it just means that my suction tube is blocked. I'm blocking it. Just reposition your head slightly, so just over towards your left. That's alright, yeah. Just over towards you're lying on a pillow there. That's perfect. Those shooting sounds that you may hear, just the wax travelling up the tube.
Oh, that's lovely. Why do we produce wax?
Wax is a healthy substance.
Is it?
So it's slightly acidic.
Right.
The acidity of the wax can inhibit certain bacterial growth in the ear. And actually the acidity repels insects and bugs from entering the ear. Wax is also sticky, so any foreign particles in the ear that enter the ear can stick to the wax.
They
wax,
stick to it?
Yeah, and the wax generally comes out by itself, so it expels any dust or dirt that's entered the ear. And of course wax is slightly greasy, therefore it lubricates the ear canal wall, the skin, to prevent it from drying and cracking. People sometimes develop excessive wax, like you have in your case, for a number of reasons. It could be the ear anatomy. So if your ear is a bit narrow or twisty, as the wax is trying to come out...
Sorry, I can't hear.
What I'll do, I'll get this out and I'll explain at the end.
Fine.
Yeah. This is difficult to hear with me and the suction probe. It's right up against your eardrum. Get on the edge.
That's quite tender there.
Yeah, so deep in your ear there's a narrowing of your ear canal.
Is that?
And the wax is stuck behind the narrowing. I'm just going to have to loosen that.
Is it still there?
You just got a bit very deep in your ear. All the external wax has been removed. Just clear my suction. It's slightly blocked. I'll show you on the camera once I've done. There's a little narrowing and the wax. So the ear narrows and it protrudes.
I'm not a medical guy or whatever. I mean, I remember doing it at school. It's like three sections of your ear. There's the outer ear, middle ear, is it?
That's correct. So we're working with the outer ear. So the outer ear is the ear canal up to the eardrum.
Right.
But let's just get this out first, because it might be a bit tricky, and I'll explain it to you after. So just leaving it out. You're finding that a bit uncomfortable, aren't you?
Yeah, that's tender.
And we're actually not even making contact with the ear canal. It's just the wax it's plugged deep in your ear. Let me just use slightly less suction power to see if I can extract that. So it's a bit more delicate when we go in the ear. But don't worry, we didn't make any contact there. We're just on the
orifice, or are you just turning the pressure down?
It's turning the pressure down, but it's possibly when I use the big sucker like I was using, because you've got that plug and it's stuck behind the narrowing of the ear. I'm bringing out a bigger object through a narrow opening, so it's a bit uncomfortable for you. So I'm just going to use less pressure to gently manoeuvre it.
I had a friend that was a doctor, and he always said to me, he said, he said, the body's just like a piece of mechanical equipment.
It is.
It is when you look at it. You've got a pump, you've got a filter, you've got a bit of engineering work, and that's really at the end of the day. But it's a bit flexible, and that's what you found. You've obviously got somewhere that's quite flexible.
It's actually staying nice and still for this bit, but don't want to cause any discomfort. I'm just going to try and wriggle it. So any discomfort you're feeling, it's not because we're making
I
contact.
can hear that going, or wherever it's.
Yeah, that plug is stuck behind the narrow. It's very tricky to remove. But stay nice and still like you are.
That's never going to come out with irrigation, is it?
No, not this. What I'm going to do is just apply some drops in there, just to lubricate it. You've been using drops before, but those drops wasn't penetrating to the deeper part of the wax. I can remove that just by persevering with a large sucker, but it might be uncomfortable, and I don't want to cause you any discomfort. So this will just lubricate it, so it'll be a bit easier.
I don't mind just do it. I'll
no, let's just put some drops in. It's better for us. So I'm going to put some drops in. It'll just lubricate it, and hope it's like when you've got a ring stuck on your finger. A bit of soap helps it to wriggle out.
It is.
And it would never come out with irrigation, this.
It wouldn't?
No. There we are. So I'm just going to suck some oil out first. Just around the hair so we can smear the camera. Did you used to do a lot of diving?
Did I?
Yeah.
No. I've lived abroad for a number of years. Did a lot of swimming.
In cold water?
Yeah.
I think you've got swimmer's ear. What swimmer's ear is, deeper in your ear canal, you get bone, and you've got some bony protrusions where the wax is stuck behind.
Oh.
So it's a bit.
Well, we lived in France, and that's not very warm, the water. And then we moved to Spain.
I'm sorry if it's a bit uncomfortable, but I just got to get the grip. There's no other way it's going to come out.
Yeah. Sorry, I've licked up.
No, it's fine. It's your ear, so it's impacted behind this narrowing.
Is it still there?
I've got some of it out. Let's go back to the fine end, see if I can.
No, I mean I've travelled a lot. It's not a thing. Although I've come from a village where, well, you probably know the village, Stony Stanton.
Yeah.
Where it's full of divers.
Just gently working it out, so just bear with me.
Yeah, it's full of divers there. And they usually dive from the bends.
So actually, just keep your head there and try to keep. Try not to move your jaw, because when you move your jaw, it does actually constrict the ear canal slightly. I'm just trying to work from the top instead, see if I can roll the wax forwards.
What you say? You're rolling it forward.
Yeah, from the top part. The top part's a bit wider, so I'm trying to get grip at the top of the wax now and roll it forward so it goes through that narrowing.
So what we're kind of talking about? What size are we talking?
You mean the narrowing?
No, the bit that you're trying to get at.
It's just one last lump near your eardrum. But it is a large lump, but as I said, it's behind this narrowing. I'll get it out, don't worry. One piece out. Was that the sudden shooting sound that made you jump there, was it?
It was what?
Was that the sudden shooting sound that made you jump?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the wax travelling up the tube. There we go. So look, keep your head
Well,
that's
sorry.
it. You're trying to keep your head in that fixed position.
That one.
Yeah. It's going to tilt it that way a bit. But don't be concerned, we're not making any contact with the ear canal wall or your eardrum.
I'm not worried. I'm just, you know, I'm probably on.
Just made you jump a bit, that noise. I'm going to have to go with the big sucker. There's no other way of getting this out.
You're going to have to go what?
With the big sucker.
Oh, right. Which way? Straight one or what?
Yeah, that's it. Now, I do feel it's going to be slightly uncomfortable for you because at the bottom part of your ear canal, it is a bit sore there because the wax is behind it. But there's no other way, really. But just trying to don't try to move. If you do hear a sudden noise, just trying to get your head still. I know it's easier said than done. Trying to keep your head still if you can. We're just bringing it through. Yeah, I've got a big lump at the top. So.
You've got a big lump.
Yeah, but there's still a bit in there. But I can hopefully work around it
Your
now.
body produces the wax. Does it produce any other fluid?
Well, you mean in the ear?
Your ear.
Yeah, I was going to give a whole host of different answers to that question there.
Oh,
Just so the wax is a combination of sweat and so you get sweat glands in the ear and you get waxy glands and they mix, they amalgamate. But what I'm going to do, I'll explain it all after you. I'm just going to get this wax out because it is tricky.
Tell you what, I haven't got tinnitus, I think of it.
So you should be hearing better because I can't see the top part of your eardrum. Try not to move your head. I know, again, if you're hearing sudden sounds, it is going to be slightly uncomfortable. There's no way around it, unfortunately, with your ear. But try to keep your head still. If it's uncomfortable, just stay so, and I can come out your ear. Let's keep your head still on it. Again, it's easier said than done. Just keep your head still. It's coming. Let me just put a bit more drops in there. I have I think I've got it.
Are you?
Is there? Might be a little fragment left. I just saw it stay behind when I got that plug out.
It's probably my brain.
Let's hope not. Yeah, but this should be alright to get out. Let's take. It's got a little bit left, just a little bit. It's hiding behind one of the bony protrusions, so I'm just going to bend my tube so I can go around that bony protrusion, and I should get access to it. It's like bending it like Beckham. So yeah, it's going to keep your head nice until for this last bit. Let's just have a look in your ear first. Yeah, just a little bit left. Oh god.
It's about 40 now.
Wow, it's a big difference.
It's all gone to the Pacific Rim.
Fantastic. I've got it all out.
Oh, brilliant, well done.
Very complex. Got to get near the entrance to get that out. Well, I've had some really challenging cases the last few days.
Sorry?
I've had some really challenging cases the last few days. Yeah. Are you hearing better? I know you've got an underlying. I know you've got an underlying hearing problem, so it's difficult. But how does that feel?
10 times better.
So there is a bit of soreness on the section of the ear canal near your eardrum.
Yeah.
That's not because we made contact. We made no contact. It's just because that wax was really impacted. It was building up and it was applying pressure. So I definitely do think...
Is that why I was getting pain down my neck?
Quite possibly. So I do think you've got a bit of swimmer's ear, and you mentioned previously that you used to swim in cold water.
Yeah, I don't anymore. I must admit, swimming is not the first thing that I do in life.
So what happens is, the cold water enters your ear, and the outer part of the ear canal is made up of cartilage, but the last third or even half of the ear canal, it's literally skin on bone. That bone absorbs the water, the cold water. And so in the water you've got minerals and nutrients, and that bone absorbs it, and you get the bone, it expands and it swells. You get almost bone spurs, what we call bony protrusions. There's normally 3 when you have swimmer's ear, one at around 1 o'clock, one at 4 o'clock, and one at around 8 or 9 o'clock. And what's happened, the wax got stuck behind those protrusions, so it wasn't coming out. And it got built up, and it started applying pressure on your ear canal, which caused a bit of soreness, but that will settle itself completely. I'll show you your ear in a minute. The eardrum's fully visible. You had a bit of wax around, hiding behind the protrusion. I even got that out. I bent my tube and had to go around and get it out from that cravat, which I got it. So, brilliant. Yeah, so your hearing will go back to how it was previously. I know I said you've got this problem.
I can accept that, but to be honest with you now, I mean, I can hear...
Brilliant.
As I would before.
That was very difficult, but I enjoyed it. So let's turn you around and do the other side.
Soho House there.
Soho House?
Yeah, it's where the Lunar Society used to meet. Have you heard of it?
As in the moon?
No. The Lunar Society was a group of gentlemen in the 18th century that used to meet on a regular basis, and there were people like Wedgwood, Darwin, all the kind of key brains of that time, and they would all arrive in their horse and carriage. They would all get together and they would have a meal and they would get totally drunk, and then they'd sit around all through the evening and night and draw on pieces of paper of what they thought the next invention was going to be and what was going to happen and how it would happen, and what it was just the excellent brains of the UK that got together. And if ever you have a minute and look up the Lunar Society, you'll be amazed at what these people designed and did. And it's a big house, and Handsworth is not a very well-known place for being, shall we say, academic or whatever. It's more, now it's a bit of a, I don't know, not the most pleasant place to be.
Can I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
Could I just look straight ahead for me?
Yeah.
Have you put cotton wool in your ear? Because this definitely looks like cotton wool.
I have. I think it's one of those things that you do when you put I put oil in there and put the cotton wool in. Now I didn't realise that that's not what you do.
I was going to prise it out.
Oh, so it's still in there?
Yeah, it's a huge lump.
Is it? Oh, Christ.
I could use crocodile forceps, but I think it'll just tear it. It's better to hook it. Look at that.
I can hear it now. I can hear it.
It's just gone down your top.
That's it. All right.
I've got it out. Look at that.
Look right.
Yeah,
that's how I started off, trying to clean my ear out.
You're just forcing the wax further in.
Yes, I realise that now.
Yeah, that's fine. It's no damage. Bit of dead skin. That will naturally.
Is there any wax in there now?
It's not wax. It's just dead skin. That will naturally come out, but it's not blocking your ear. I can see the eardrum.
Oh, so that one's all right.
So when I looked at your ear originally, I said on your left side, it looked. I thought it was you've been using Otex or some hydrogen peroxide drops and the wax had discoloured, or there might have been an infection because it was oddly white.
The chunk that's come out?
That's from your other side.
Yeah.
Your right side. A lot of it went up the suction probe there.
Christ.
That's the right side.
Isn't that horrible?
See how dark it is. It's been in your ear for a long time. But with this,
did it go dark when it's in there for a long time?
Yeah, it oxidises.
Does it?
Yeah. It's a bit like fruit, for example.
Apples and avocados. It's metal. So when metal oxidises, it goes rusty.
Yeah, so when I examined your ear initially, I thought that might have been an infection, some fungal infection.
Oh, right, okay. But it's just a plausible.
I think I asked you about cotton buds and you said no, but obviously this is cotton wool.
Yeah.
And what it's done, I was a bit confused. I thought, what is that? Because if you've been using the drops on both sides, because the drops can discolour the wax, especially things like sodium bicarbonate drops, hydrogen peroxide drops, but why wasn't it discoloured on both sides? So I was I did think at the back of my mind that could be something else, and it was just a piece of cotton wool.
My fault.
That's all right. We live and we learn. And that was a bit deep in your ear. You can see. You put the drops in, and then you put the cotton wool in to kind of keep the drops in there. The best way to use drops is how we used it.
I thought it might be absorbing the wax when it dissolved or did whatever.
All it's doing actually is absorbing the drops, and it's making it less effective.
All right.
So, it's not your fault. Everyone used to do it this way. The best way to use drops is how I did it on your right ear. Put the drops in, tilt your head to the side for 5 minutes.
Let it run out.
Let it run out. Come back the other way 5 minutes. How'd you feel?
Brilliant.